guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Asa Studio. It's another retouching tutorial in Photoshop, and we're going to be retouching this raw images. I'm going to be showing you the step-by-step process of how to edit your raw shots in Photoshop. So let's get started. The first thing, what is the problem that drew your attention? So I noticed that we have a tear on the material, which is like a paper. Up above right here you can see that there plaster or what sellotape is used in binding those two together, and we have the light which we need to get rid of. So there are some dirt over this place, so let's find a way to do that. First of all, I'm going to duplicate so we have a reference. I'm going to turn this off and select this layer. Now we have some tools we can use. I'm going to use the patch tool for quick. I'm going to take it like this. Let's make it small. I'm going to make it very small and drag it below, and boom, that is gone. Okay, so this one I'm going to take it like this and drag it up, and boom, that's gone. I'm going to take this one, let's do this, drag it up somewhere, and it's gone. I'm going to do it again, drag it down, and see, we have that. I'm going to take this, drag it up, and boom, it's going to take that shape. Okay, this one I'm going to drag it over to the back, and this, and that's gone. All right, so now that we've got rid of that, let's fix the lighting. We can see that the picture has some white all over the place, and we can fix that with the exposure. So let's grab the exposure adjustment layer and take up the gamma correction. See the white I'm talking about? So I'm going to take it up, all the way up like this, to give it some dimension. All right, so now we are going to go ahead and fix quite a lot in the image. So first thing first, we're going to make the image look sharper. Of course, we're going to be doing some frequency separation and color correction. So let's grab the hue and saturation, and let's look at what we want to fix. Grab the end tool and want the skin to look more like the yellow part. So I'm going to grab the red part, which is at the arms. I'm going to select it and increase the hue, so we can see that there are color difference, color variation, whatever it's called, so of this end. So I'm going to target this red, this yellowish part. So let's take it forward till we have just that yellow part selected, and if we can't get that, we could actually make amend with this one. Now that we've selected this one, I'm going to make those color look more like this place. Now make this 0, and now we could start with the hue. So let's take up the hue and make it look yellowish like that, not too much, that we want to remove. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the hand tool and I'm gonna zoom out so you can see the difference. Now we could bring up the lightning down a bit, okay, and also increase the saturation a bit, and there we go, and we could take it down. So let's see before, then now after. So that's just a little. Now the next thing we're going to do is frequency separation. So hold down Shift Alt Control E to create a stand visible layer. Okay, so now that we create a stand visible layer, I'm going to duplicate it twice or just once. There's no need for twice. Name this color and name this texture. So we're separating the texture and the color so I can work on them independently. I'm going to select the color layer, and then I'm going to go to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur it to somewhere we can see the features of the body or on the face. So something like this looks fine to me. I'm going to click OK, select the texture, turn it on. The more you blur, the more texture you have. So go to select the texture, go to image, apply image. And once you go to apply image, sorry if I'm too fast, go to merge and select the color, multiply, change the blending mode to subtract, and it's okay. And I'll change the blending mode to linear light, and then we'll be back with our image. So now we could work on the texture and the color. So for the color layer, select the mixer tool brush, and for the texture layer, we're going to use the clone stamp tool. So let's brush in and blend the image together like this. So make sure your settings, you set the brush to clean, cancel, talking about the brush. Okay, so and avoid the highlight. I usually avoid the highlight a lot. So something like this, and don't do too much. A little can be fine. Decrease the size of the brush and blend this place. Well, increase the size of the brush, and I'm going to blend more in this place. And there we go. Okay, so that's okay. It's not a face portrait or a headshot, so we don't need to blend things and make things look flat. Just make sure things are looking okay. Now I'm gonna leave it like that and make the retouching look very simple. Also our end, and I'm gonna blend back too. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm gonna select the texture layer, and let's see if we have some blemishes. We have one right here. Hold down Alt, select an area and paint over it like this. Okay, sorry. Choose the clone stamp to decrease the size of the brush, and we're going to copy this texture and paste it right on top. So if she have any blemishes, we're going to fix it with that, something like that. And I think we're done with the frequency separation. Create a stem visible layer, and the next thing we're going to be doing, oh yeah, I forgot. Let's undo that. Ctrl Z, go to the color layer, select the mixer tool brush, make it bigger, and let's work on the background. Yeah, I mean this place. So I'm gonna just blend this place together like this, so as to have a uniform background. Okay. Of course, my computer is slow, so just bear with me. I'm gonna blend those places together like this, and blend this place together like this as well. I'm gonna zoom out. Let's just blend and keep blending. So something like this. Alright, I'm also gonna blend this part where she's sitting on. Okay, so now click on texture layer, go to the clone stamp tool, and let's work on the, yeah, so all this. And we have it. Do something like that. Let's just leave it for the now, like that. And we could create a stem visible layer now. And let's go to camera raw filter, camera raw filter. So here we are in camera raw filter. So I'm going to go to basic tab and start with the white balance. So which color is white? I guess the clothes is white. So I'm going to click on it, and then it's going to correct it just a bit. So you can see the correction. Let's do some other white balance. So something like that. Now let's select the place, and there we go. All right, so now we're going to work with the white. So let's bring up the shadows first. To brighten up the shadows just a bit, and black, bring down the white, and we're going to leave the highlight just the way it is. Or you could, if the highlight is too much, you could bring it down. Let's just see the one that fits. So I would like to bring up the highlight like that, and here we go. All right, so now increase the texture. Yeah, so that's the texture. And we've increased the texture. There's nothing else we want to do than to go to the next tab. So we could add some X curve to create tension. So I'm going to take that up and put this downwards. So something like this. X curve, take this up, and that should be okay. I'm going to go to the color mixer, and this is where I'm going to focus on. First of all, make the red look more red. So go to the U and make the red, which is the rose, look red like that. And the orange, make it look more like the orange. Okay. If I bring it back, it's going to look dark. Like the red, no, so I don't want that. I want it to look like this. Make the yellow look more like the yellow. And the green, I'm going to go to the green and make the green more green, which is the rose. And I guess there are no other color. So let's work on the saturation. So the red is already saturated. We could saturate it the more, and saturate the green the more to make the flower pop out. So let's take this back. Now for the orange, I'm going to increase the saturation, and for the yellows, increase the saturation as well. But let's say we want to brighten up the skin, we can go to the luminance and brighten it up. And let's see the blues. Let's increase the blues to make it more cooler. Now go to the luminance and increase the luminance of the skin so as to pop out from the background. So I think that's okay for the now. Go back to the calibration, which is the last step. Now it's a dark skin. Yeah, it's a brown skin girl. So I'm going to bring this back a lot. Yeah, and take the blues up. And so we have something like this. And let's mess around with the greens. We're dim shade, so that's too much. Bring this back. Or take this forward and bring this backward. Seems she's light skinned, so that works fine. Work fine for me. I'm gonna bring this back. Find the sweet spot. I think that's the sweet spot right there. So I'm gonna it's okay on the keyboard and go the changes being made to that. And there you go with our image. Now you could go ahead and make more adjustments like making the lips red and making the eyes white. So let's do that. So let's start with the making the white eyes. I'm going to go with the photo filter. Go ahead and choose the cool warming cool filter 82 1 and create the black and white adjustment. Black and white adjustment layer, and I'm going to group the two together. So let's see. Let's just take it up and brighten those two up. And I'm going to cancel it. So something like that. Could decrease the opacity a bit and group the two together. Okay, so create a mask and invert the mask. Control I and select the normal brush. And let's paint on the eyes with foreground color white like that and like that. So and they will make the image look white. Alright, so let's say after making that one look white, we could work on the lips. So create urine saturation. Let's focus more with the saturation and let's make it very saturated. And let's see the effect. So we can see the effect on the lips. I'm going to cancel that. You can use so many methods. I'm just using the fastest method. You use Control I to invert, and I'm going to paint on the lips like this and zoom out. So you might not notice that because so we could decrease the opacity a bit just to make it look, if I want to do this, I'm going to take a lot of time. So I'm just trying to fix it as fast as I can. So let's try and use another exposure and bring up the gamma. And there we go. So let's create a invisible layer with this. Control Shift Alt E. So it's trying to merge a visible layer. And we're going to compare it with the one we created. So I'm going to group from the starting to the end. Yeah, and group it together. I'm going to turn it off and turn this on. So let's see. This is our before, and then this is our after. This is our before, and then this is our after. Just a quick retouching of the image. So if you find the video helpful, kindly subscribe. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. See you in our next video. Once again, thank you for watching. This is ASA's Studio.